Hey guys, welcome to another episode. Today is sort of a continuation of last week's episode, so we're going to be focusing mostly on scenery. As you may have noticed, there are no buildings on the right. I think I may make some changes because I want to be able to see the whole yard without anything blocking its view, and the warehouse and the silos do take up a lot of that visibility. I may change my mind, but we shall see. For now, I plan on using small details that aren't taking up too much space. I did want to start with track plans for this section in this episode, but my hobby shop didn't have what I needed. They only had right switches available and I needed 2 left hand switches instead. The only thing I picked up was some flex track. For now, the buildings will be stored here until I figure out what I'm going to do. Now to continue with the scenery. First thing I get done is getting some dirt along the tracks. As these episodes go on, I won't explain these tasks in depth, so I don't repeat myself so much. If it is something new, I will of course show all steps and products. For now, I'll just show tasks like this in a time-lapse kind of format. Here I'm just using a dry brush to kind of even things out with the dirt. Ballasting tracks is another thing I won't go into detail, but if you are new and you want to know, I will link the episode where I go into depth below. The last thing I did this day was dirt this area to prepare for the scenery tomorrow. Here is the following day and everything is dry. It is really cool to see almost all the tracks ballasted. Now it's time to get working on this little corner section. Static grass will be the first thing up, so now it's time to sacrifice another cheap brush. This 4mm grass is probably the best looking in my opinion. This is after a second pass over with the static grass applicator. The next item we're going to be using is the last tree from the Woodland Scenics pack I got last week. To the left is some of that briar patch stuff that I actually used on my previous layout. And on the right are some smaller bushes that I actually don't end up using. I do also use a couple of rocks as boulders for my little random stash of pebbles and larger outdoor stuff. The tree is going to get placed where there is no grass. I get some dirt on the base of the tree, which I do change later, and I also sprinkle some dirt on the grass, just to make it look a little bit more realistic. And don't worry, later on I will glue it all down. Here's where I put the correct dirt down. Now time to glue down some bushes. This is after everything is glued down. I think a little can go a long way with this, and plus I can and probably will add more details later on. I'll probably end up adding some kind of animals or maybe some kind of people, some kind of cool scene or something. I did add another detail to the telephone pole. I also added a small sign to the building in front of the yard. Super happy to see more and more done, even though it's a slow pace. I just want the most realism I can achieve with the budget and tools at my disposal. The very last thing I do is cut some of that thin wood for a crossing across the double track. In the yard, that is. These are the smaller pieces that'll go in between the track. It'll make more sense in the next clip. Alright, that's going to be a wrap on episode 13 of Building the Layout. It's kind of a short one and kind of one where it's a little bit more repetitive and close to what we did in the last episode, except it's just more progress, and I would have worked on the next section if I had found what I needed, but it's coming in the mail, so don't worry, next week we'll be working on that. So if you guys did enjoy the video, please leave a like and subscribe. It does let me know that you guys are enjoying and that you want to see more stuff. And on that note, I will catch you guys in next week's episode.